Congratulations on your purchase of an Expedition system from JTS. I just want to go through some of the features and show you how to troubleshoot or have a look at the inside of the box as well so you can understand what's going on. We'll start on the outside. So on the outside you'll have two grey Andersons, and they are for power in or power out. So you can charge through those, or you can use a solar blanket that already has a regulator on it in through those grey Andersons, and you can power out. You can run your travel buddy oven, you can run your fridge off of there, you could even run a small compressor off of there. Just remember that they are rated to 50 amps only. Then you'll have your sockets. So standard 12-volt sockets. These are water resistant, and you have dual USBs. Now our dual USBs have a standard quick charge USB as well as a USB-C socket and a little button on the side that turns it on. The reason for that is you have no drawer at all on that socket until you turn that switch on. You'll also have in some boxes a power in feature. So this is the power inlet. It's a 15 amp inlet, just like on a caravan. So you have to have the correct lead to go into that. And that's broken by a circuit breaker inside, which I'll show you later. You have a power outlet for those people with an inverter, which is a dual waterproof power outlet. So just on and off, just like your outlet at home. To make that work though, you will need to make sure the inverter is on. So this system has an EnerDrive inverter in it. So it has the EnerDrive button to turn it on and off. Other ones may have just an orange on and off switch, okay? And then turn that off. This gauge here is your Victron gauge, and that gives you your voltage, your battery percentage, as well as the amps and the wattage that's going in and out of your battery. These also have the feature of an app, which I'll go through a little bit later, and the app on your phone will show you everything you need to know about the battery as well. The other sockets that you'll find on the outside of the box are the start charge in. So this comes from the alternator of your vehicle, goes into here, and that runs through your BC-DC, and your solar input. And that's for a solar blanket that does not have a regulator already on it, because the regulator is built into the system. So you'll get a very good input of solar through that, because it's a good quality MPPT solar regulator in there. All right, let's jump inside the box and we'll have a look in there. Righto, so inside the box, we have the battery component. This particular box has a 300 amp hour PROVOLT battery, but we have many different options in that situation. You have a 240 charger. We very often use the Victron unit because it is small, compact, and 30 amp output. You'll have a DC-DC charger, and in this case, it's a Redarc 1250D. And we have a few different options there from Redarc, from Victron, and from EnerDrive occasionally. You'll have your inverter. In this case is a 2000 watt inverter, and this has a changeover switch, which I'll explain later. You'll also have your the rear end of your sockets with fusing, the rear end of your 240 options, and then you've got your wiring. You have a main fuse, so the main fuse runs to the inverter, and also your other power runs off that as well. And then down below is the shunt, which gives the information to the Victron unit so that you know where your battery state of charge is at. Just down the front here, you'll see that there's a 240 circuit breaker. So the 240 circuit breaker there is the one that's linked to the input. So if you ever don't have your battery charging off 240, that's where the first place you go to check that that breaker is turned on or broken off, and turn it back on and make sure that everything's okay. On the inverter side of things, the changeover inverter, what that means is when you've got power drawing out of the inverter and you've got 240 plugged in, as soon as you release the 240, it will automatically change over and start inverting off the battery. And that'll be fast enough for you not to notice. So even most computers and that won't notice that there's been a changeover from 240 to battery power. Now there is a circuit breaker on the output of that inverter, which is just down the side here. So that little breaker there, and you must make sure that that's on to make sure that your power's coming out of your socket. bit further down is the fusing for all the 12-volt items. So you have DC-DC input, which comes directly from that side Anderson plug. You have charge output. So in this case, it's coming from the DC-DC charger and from the 240 charger through that fuse, through this fuse, and then to the battery. You have the power outlet 1 and power outlet 2, which are the two Andersons on the side, coupled together with two of the sockets, and the other Anderson on the side coupled together with the other two sockets, making your two power outlets. That's a bit of an overview of how an Expedition box works and what you need to do to fix any issues.